Hey everybody! Wouldn't be a Big Brother 27 exit interview if I didn't give a disclaimer at the top. So I got the chance to talk with Morgan about 3 to 4 hours after the finale concluded, and unfortunately the internet signal wasn't very strong, specifically for the video component of it, so we actually did not use the video. We wanted to get clear audio out of Morgan, so she went video off. The good news is audio is crystal clear. You can hear every fantastic word that Morgan is saying. The bad news is you gotta stare at this face the entire time. So apologies about that. And I also want to use this opportunity to just thank you all. I absolutely love getting to cover Big Brother, especially when it is just an absolutely wild season like this one. But I know that I have a great opportunity to be given a platform, and I would not be here if it were not due to the support of so many of you on so many different platforms and mediums. It really means the world to me. It is a labor of love, but thanks to you, I love the labor. Without further ado, here is my interview with Morgan. How are you feeling right now, Morgan?
Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously no secret that I'm not, I'm bummed to be real. It's bittersweet. I knew that in order for me to win this game, I was gonna have to win it out. And when I lost that final HOH, I just knew because if I was her, I would have taken me out because Vinny was the easier person to beat between the two of us. So it is hard because all day today I was practicing my final speech. I was deciding who I was going to take to the end, and it turned out that I just came up short. But I think that although I did not win today, I left the best player of the season, even though I did not win. And I can stand on that and I can be proud of myself. I mean, winning 5 vetoes and 2 HOHs all in a row, like 7 competitions in a row to gain safety is unheard of. And I'm still kind of flabbergasted at myself. I'm like looking at the mirror, like, who is that? That's me. Like this happened to me. It's insane. I really can't explain the feelings because it's like, while I want to, break down because I wanted to win so bad. I know that, God has a plan for me. And I think when making history books as being one of the strongest female players that has played Big Brother, this is just all what I've been told, right? From greats on stage. I mean, Taylor came
Yeah.
up to me, Chelsea, Derek all had me to win, and to hear even Julie Chen, like to have people who have been part of this family and this show for so long tell me that, I'm going to be one of the best players to never win this game is a compliment that I will never be able to replace. And it's far, I mean, this sounds crazy, but to me, it's just worth so much more than the money. Like, of course, the money is going to change the lives of all of us, but at the same time, like, I'm just blessed and I'm so proud of myself. I mean, you guys saw me leave. I was smiling. I gave them hugs. I
Yeah.
wish them the best. Like I said a joke all season long. Like there's no unsportsmanlike conduct over here. Like it just didn't feel right for me to feel any other way than just proud of the game that I played. And I left that house proud with what I did.
Well, let's talk about the jury vote that you cast after that quick turnaround. Was it always going to be Vince in your mind, or was something said in the jury question and answer that had you leaning one way or the over the other?
No, to be honest with you, I knew that either Vince and I was going to be leaving that house tonight, depending on who won. If I won, Vince was leaving. If Ashley won, I was leaving. And I knew that Vince would have given me a vote, so I therefore returned the favor. I knew his story. I knew that he'd been applying for 10 years, and this show meant so much to him. But I said this before, like Ashley cooked him like a well done steak, and she was going to win regardless. So as a friend and as an ally, I just want it was like a way of me telling him like thank you for playing this game with me, and I'm proud that we got so far, and congrats on second place.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't stay on this dynamic between the two of you because it did seem, especially after Zach left, you really grew a lot closer strategically, personally. It was an incredibly emotionally complex relationship from
Sure.
our perspective. Give me your perspective on it.
Vince and I are LA locals. We were the only two locals in the house. So naturally, we're going to gravitate towards each other because everyone else was connecting about the East Coast and this. And we're standing there looking like, what? You know what I mean? So the fact that he loved to strategize. I mean, I'm a gamer, so strategizing was what I wanted to do. It was what I was looking forward to because I was always thinking of my next move, or I was always thinking at least a couple steps ahead, not too far. Because when you think too far, that's when you get voted out. So I really focused on building a trusting relationship because as people saw, I had Mickey as my number one ally who was throwing me under any bus she could find. So it was hard when I started to realize that like the allies that I thought were my real allies were in fact not my allies. They were my enemies. And so I had to, pivot. And Vince was somebody that always had my back. And because I showed him the kind of ally I was when he was on the block, him saving me was obviously the best for my game because I got to stay in the game. But, it showed him that, and he said it tonight, like I proved to him that I was worthy of working with. And I think as we progress forward, like obviously we're in a house where emotions are high, you go through highs and lows and you need someone to talk to. You need someone to just feel like they can hear you out. And so having a friendship with him was really special to me. And, I'm grateful that I got to go through the game with a duo. I mean, who in what world does a duo last to final three? I mean, people should have taken us out a long time ago. Those are things that I would have done if I wasn't in the duo. But, the fact that I had a strong friendship with him is the reason why we were able to progress forward in the game.
Now, I know that you certainly had some reactions to the Zingbot of it all and, the perception of what your relationship might be. I mean, what is your reaction to that? What do you have any sort of expectations or anticipation as to how your relationship is going to carry into the real world and the perception that it had?
It's a great question. I mean, I know when the Zingbot happened, I mean, everyone saw my face. I was actually shocked. I did not think that was the perception, like I know my intentions. I know that it was strictly platonic. It was strictly a friendship. So when I heard that, I just had a lot of questions. Like if I was a cartoon character, I had question marks floating above my head. Like, what the hell is going on in this house? Like as if I didn't think this house was already crazy enough. Like, what is happening? Because, him and I have had conversations about his girlfriend and like their plans and things like that. So I was just very shocked. However, from my perspective, like it is strictly platonic. We are just friends. And outside of this house, a friendship is going to resume if that's something that he'd like to continue. If not, then, it's a game. At the end of the day, he did win 4 HOHs. I won vetoes and HOHs. Like it made sense for both of us to play the game together. I mean, we'd be silly not to because, that was a tactic for me as well. Like, I mean, I remember when I took the veto and used it on Ava, I told him like, if you don't put Lauren on the block, we can't work together anymore. Like that just wasn't going to be something that was going to help my game moving forward, was not working together. So as far as I'm concerned, because I can only speak for myself, it is a strictly platonic friendship.
I want to talk about the Lauren move, the move where you were able to, and listen, we were watching you relentlessly night after night, finally get him
6 a.m. 2 nights in a row.
Well, and so talk to me a bit about that because you were certainly coming from the angle of the judges. Was that the true angle that you wanted to pursue, or were there other motives that had you wanting him to specifically put Lauren up?
It was both. It was definitely for the judges because the other replacement nominee was Ashley and she was in the judges. And he kept worrying about what the jury was going to think and what the jury this and jury that. And I'm like, well, let's bring it back to day 60 when Rachel left because you decided to pick Lauren over the alliance. If you want to show the jury that you are willing to say, I'm going to put the alliance first this time because I learned, this is your chance to do it. And I feel like, of course, that was a benefit for me because Lauren was coming after me. And I knew that his reaction wasn't as, like strong as mine was when he was on the block. So I knew there was something about potentially him and Lauren going to the final 2. But I was like, you know what? This is the move I need to make. I'm going to buy favor with Ava. And I'm going to make sure that Lauren gets on that block. And if she is there on eviction night, I am going to vote her out. And tough luck if it's on your HOH. Because I want her gone. And luckily, everything kind of worked out. Kelly left, Kiana got to stay, because that was initially what I really wanted, was Kiana to stay. And then I won HOH, and she got to go home on my HOH. So it worked out nonetheless. But that was definitely a move for the judges, but more importantly for me. But that's the thing. It was also to help him. I mean, he wanted to know how he could regain jury votes. you had people said that you had Lauren goggles on. So show them that you don't have Lauren goggles on, you know?
Well, I want to ask because it does seem like you almost, I wouldn't say play two different games, but to watch you in the first like 6 weeks or so, it seems like, whether coincidentally or not, like the second you hit that block versus Riley and the second you lost that wall comp, a switch flipped. That's when you
Oh,
went on this wild streak of like 7 rounds of safety. It's when you start winning 7 competitions. Was there sort of a change in mode for you, a change in tactics? Or was it just the more you started winning, the more you started to then be able to execute the things that you wanted to do?
wow, you have great questions. I love these. So
Thank you.
first when it comes to the vote, I mean, it was terrifying. I That was my first time on the block come eviction night, and I knew the votes were close. And I wasn't sure what was gonna happen, but I knew when I survived that I was given a second chance. Because that was the closest vote of the season, aside from the tie that we saw that Vince broke to send Kelly home. But that was the
Hmm.
closest vote pre-jury. And so I knew with that, and I knew when I went into Wellcomp, the drive that I wanted to win and slipping, like I literally slipped and just to fall and be a have not. I mean, the irony, it was actually quite hilarious. I was like, oh my God, of course that happens to me. But it's like, I knew how bad I wanted to win that game, or sorry, how bad I wanted to win Wellcomp, that I just felt like I needed to start proving myself. Because I mean, the first half of the game, everyone kept talking about, you'll have to peel me off that wall. I'm not losing. And then I just face plant and just eat it. And I just fall right into a have not. And it was just like, I'm sure America loved it. It was probably hilarious. I mean, I was even laughing at myself after a while, but I just knew that after both of those extreme lows, because it was a low of almost not staying in the house and then a low of not winning a competition that I wanted to win so bad, that I had to prove to myself, not even to the other house guests. I just needed to prove to myself that I can win competitions. I didn't come here to just be a social player. I came here to be an all around, well rounded player. And the only way I could prove that was to start winning. And I mean, you said it perfectly. As I started winning, my momentum started picking up. It was like, it was like kind of how I think about how I'd run track in college. Like I was a 200 runner. Like when you start, you really get those power steps. Then once you go, it's just like you take off. And that's just kind of how it was. The momentum was going and I won when I needed to. Um, and I was just, I can't believe it. I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. Like even when you're talking about my accolades, I'm like, oh my God, did I really do that? Like that's just crazy.
I mean, that's the thing is that specifically towards the latter stretch of the season, Morgan, you had us consistently talking. Because you were doing so much in that game, and I know that at times it felt incredibly stressful and emotionally overwhelming. But it does hurt me a lot to know that you are, even though you do feel very understandably bummed, it does seem like you've got these spirits that have you just have so much passion for this type of game, and I think fans really do appreciate that. Obviously, this is not the outcome that you wanted, but I,
No.
I, I do not, but I do not think that, that should negate 82, 81 days of getting to play a hell of a game on Big Brother
Yeah.
27. So kudos to you. I know that, I am no Janelle, I am no Taylor, but add me to the throng of people who want to wish you a job well done. I know that there's going to be a lot in the outside world, you know, I think that at the end of the day, you can settle back on what you were able to pull off and what you were able
Yeah.
to accomplish at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud of myself. And like I said to you earlier, like the feelings that I have and knowing what I was able to do and make history, it feels far worth more than $750,000.
Well, I will let you get to it, get you acclimated back into the real world. But thank you so much, Morgan, for being so
Thank you,
open
Mike.
with me. This was such a great time. I
No,
wish
it
you and
was
yours. Go ahead.
thank you. No, I was gonna say thank you. Anytime you want to chat, I'm always down. I really appreciate your conversations. Your questions were incredible.
Oh
So
my God.
thank you.
Oh my God. Listen, don't tempt me with a good time. We will certainly be talking soon. All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Morgan.
you,
You enjoy.
Mike.
All the best to you and yours. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.